Moving on to, for real this time, to topic number 2.
Lead heads.
Lead masks.
Lead heads.
But they're not like
That's a good band name.
face.
That is.
They're not masks that go over your face like that. They're sleeping masks. Have either of you heard this story?
No.
I don't know. Let's get into it.
So yes.
About 5 sentences in, it'll ring back.
Yeah. So Saturday the 20th of August, 1966.
Yep, heard it.
Now you remember it, Andrew?
1966. No.
Yeah, 60 years ago. This was a 60 years ago story that's never been solved. There was a kid, some stories say 18-year-old. I don't
Okay.
want to believe he's 18. I want to believe he's a kid, and I want to believe like he's like 8 or 9 years old. So that's what I picture. Because it was a kid named George, but Jorge, because this is in...
Jorge.
Yeah, or Jorge, but I'm just going to say George, because this is in Brazil.
Yeah.
Not Vietnam.
Vietnam Boulevard.
Brazil.
Vietnam.
Ventum. Actually, it's near Rio de Janeiro, to be exact.
Well, all the way down in Brazil, huh?
Wow.
That's what I said.
I know.
That's what I said.
I don't care what you say, though.
Anyway, so this kid named George was there flying a kite. That's why I don't want to believe he was 18, because what 18-year-olds are running around a hill flying a kite? I mean, it was the 60s, but no. He was flying his kite. He saw a weird, dark heap dent in the grass on the slope off in the distance. And so he got curious, and so he went over there to see what it was. And as he got closer, he started seeing like could tell it was clothes. And then when he got up to them, he discovered it was 2 men who were dead, wearing suits, and they'd been there for a little while. So he went home. His parents called the police, which again, that's why I don't think he was 18, because if you're 18, call the police yourself. You don't need to go home and cry to your parents about it.
Oh, man.
Anyway, they called the police, but at this point, it was getting dark, and the police couldn't reach where the area was until the next morning. So the next morning, they get to the 2 men, and do some of the police work, and they don't really notice anything, and no one really says anything, and so they take the body to the morgue. The men were dressed in formal suits with raincoats on top. Beside them was an empty glass water bottle and a bag holding 2 towels that were soaked. Over their heads, or over their eyes, were 2 small masks of lead shaped to cover the eyes, so it looked like sleeping masks.
So was it like Robin from like Batman and Robin, like his sort of mask?
Kind of. Well, I just think like a sleeping mask that you'd put on.
I guess.
Without the straps, though. Just like the...
Yeah, that's like his.
But completely covering your eyes. You couldn't see through it. Like, there was no holes. No slits.
Okay.
Then they realized they'd been there probably about 3 days. There was no sign of violence. No wounds.
Bless you.
No wounds. No broken bones.
So they're just dead with mask on their face.
Yes.
Basically.
So what you're saying is Jim Carrey ran out there with the green mask.
No.
And,
Come on, bro.
And then stuck
This
it,
was... No.
The real Jim Carrey?
made the green mask create 2 new masks, and that's the mask itself killed him.
No.
Yes.
They just were 2 healthy young men dead on a hill.
They're not healthy.
They were.
They were.
Their driving license in their pockets ID'd them. So we know who they were. I'm not gonna say their names because I'd butcher them. So I'm just gonna say their first names. It was Miguel and Manuel, and they were television and radio repairmen from a company a little ways away. They were both married with children and well liked in their area they lived in. And there was no one they could think of who had a motive to kill them.
It's a bit scary.
They were confused about the lead masks because why?
Yeah, why would you have that on?
Why?
Are you cosplaying as Dr. What's his name? What's his name?
Oz.
Marvel. No, not Oz.
Strange?
No, the electricity that goes goes berserk
Octopus?
in Fantastic Four.
No idea. I don't watch bad movies.
Doesn't Reed Richards?
No.
Yes, Reed Richards is in the Fantastic Four, but it's the villain.
Doom?
Doom.
Dr.
There
Doom?
you go, Dr. Doom. That's what I'm trying to say.
But since it was a lead mask, everyone, like, when you think of a lead mask, you think to block radiation.
Yeah, and Superman can't see through it.
So obviously that's the one thing they could think of was to block radiation, even though it makes no sense because it's just your eyes.
Yeah, it's just radiation.
But so they tested their hair eventually, and there was no sign of radiation. They also found a small notebook in one of the suit jackets. It had a bunch of letters and numbers that people online tried to figure out what it means now, like currently, but they didn't really mean anything to them. The theory that the police had was that though this is just a shopping list for electronic components, instead of writing the name of the component, they used the in-house code.
Okay.
Which you think you could verify that by
Yeah.
just checking and saying, hey, are these your codes for your inventory? But that's like, that's just that. But there was one page that had something in it that was suspicious. It said, but not in English. This was in Portuguese, but translated into English. 4:30 p.m. Be at the determined place. 6:30 p.m. Swallow capsules. After effect, protect metals. Await signal. Mask.
What?
Yeah. Basically, take the pill, wait for us, and put your mask on.
You're so ugly. We need you to take this medicine and wear this mask.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's wild.
So, police handwriting experts concluded that this was not written by either of the two men that were dead. They don't know who wrote them. Further, they found no capsules or evidence of them taking anything. Unfortunately, no toxicology test was ever run because they'd already had the body sitting up there for 3 or 4 days before they even got them. When they got them to the coroner already had a bunch of other stuff going on. He was the only coroner in the area. And so
Dead
it was
people.
several days. Like it was like weeks, I think, before they got to them. And at that point it was like anything that was going to be there is no longer going to be valid.
So did they have refrigeration for the bodies there? Was it too rural of an area?
I think it was too rural. It doesn't specifically say that, but it was like they were pretty decomposed by the time they got to them.
That's terrible. I'd hate to be the coroner there.
Well, it was 60 years ago.
I know, but they could still have refrigeration.
Well, I'm saying things might be better now.
Well, things better be better now.
Hopefully.
They better be better.
A year later, they dug the bodies up to do a second test, but it was pointless because it was like
Decomposition.
they couldn't find anything. So investigators, knowing at least who they were, where they were from, were able to ask questions and sort of get a general idea of what kind of happened up until this moment. So from talking to people who saw them show up and their family who said, okay, this is when they left town, they were able to determine that at 9 in the morning on Wednesday the 17th, Miguel and Manuel told their wives they were heading south to get some electric parts, with some accounts saying that they took enough money with them that was enough to buy a used car. So they took quite a bit of money with them. They took the bus and reached where they're going around 2 in the afternoon, getting off the train or off the bus, and it was raining. So they went to a clothing shop near the bus station and got their raincoats, maybe the towels. Not really sure when they got the towels, but they got their coats after arriving. Some reports say that they visited the electronics store and then crossed over towards Central Rio across the bay to a bar where one of them bought the glass bottle of water. And also he had the receipt for that still in his pocket too. So that's how they knew that's where they bought it. Because they had the receipt because since it was a glass bottle, you could return it to get a refund or partial refund. So that was the assumption, was he had plans to take it back. The waitress remembered them because they seemed very on edge. Miguel kept checking his watch repeatedly until 3:15. They left and began going up the hill. One report has them hitching a ride from there to with 2 unidentified men in a 4-wheel drive. George, the boy who'd found them, according to some accounts, said he saw them sitting on the hill the day before he found them and thought that they were just asleep, but they might have already been dead. But that's it. That's all anyone knows.
So it's just a complete, utter mystery of why these guys were dead in the woods with the mask on.
Yeah, they don't actually know. After they left that, leaving with 2 people, they don't know what happened after that.
That's odd.
So,
whatever they took, they OD'd on.
The year after they died, one of their friends was arrested over inconsistencies in his statements.
Oh, no.
A commercial pilot who had served as Manuel's assistant on various homebrew science projects and whose own widow recalled that he and the 2 men had a serious falling out the day before they died.
His fault.
So he looked like the suspect, but he was able to produce an alibi, placing him and a group of friends in a town 4 hours away.
Not his fault.
So they let him go. Then he got interrogated a second time. And he said the 3 of them belonged to a society of self-described scientific spiritualists.
Yeah, they probably took something.
And that they held seances to coax higher beings out from behind the veil of reality and leaned heavily on psychedelics.
This is way out of left field here.
Which they believed opened the mind to frequencies it couldn't otherwise reach. He said the two men ran a secret radio communication center in their hometown to stay in touch with members elsewhere. And one report says that in the run-up to the final day, Miguel had told his sister he had an important mission coming, but it was top secret.
I've got an important mission, but it's top secret. Shouldn't even have told you.
Now that you know I have to kill you.
Oh, why did I do this?
Huh?
So 2 months before they died, Gomez, I don't really know how to say it, that's their friend, said the three of them built a contact device in Miguel's backyard, but it exploded before they got anything out of it.
What?
On the 13th of June, Miguel invited him to watch their latest experiment, where the men set up their homemade instruments on sand at a beach. And shortly after switching it on, a bright object descended over the ocean and then shot back up and burst apart over the water.
What?
And this account has some corroboration because people in the area did say that on that day there was an explosion. Doesn't prove it was that, but some corroboration.
Okay.
After the news broke, a woman
Oh, no, not a woman.
told police she'd seen something above the hill they were found on the evening they died. An orange ring with a fiery glow hanging over the summit. But by the time her husband looked, it was gone. Other people started coming forward with similar reports, but like all of it was after the story came out, so it was kind of waved away as these just people who just want to get out there, make a name for themselves, and kind of piggyback off of it. Like, oh, I saw it too. Yeah, I saw it too.
Yeah. Trying to get their 5 minutes of fame in the local news.
In 1967, a journalist dug up a death that made it even weirder. 4 years earlier, in 1962, a man named Hermes Louise something.
That's
I'm
a tongue twister.
probably butchering it.
Hermes Louise.
Hermes. It's Hermes, like, I don't know. Anyway.
Hermes.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
4 years earlier, on a different hill, a man was found who was also an electrician's technician and with a lead mask beside him.
What?
Different hill, but relatively close with the lead mask. It's not clear if Miguel and Manuel even knew this guy, but the similarities, like it almost matches 1-to-1, except it's just one guy. But they had the same kind of job, the same field they were in. They were in, well, I don't know if they were in suits. They had the lead mask. And so, what killed them?
Drugs.
The aliens, obviously.
Oh, yeah, okay. What? Before I go into theories, starting with the most mundane, what the police think happened, what do you guys think?
Drugs.
I mean, okay. Were they just cosplaying in the woods?
Well, it wasn't woods. It was out on a hill.
Well, okay. A hill. Were they out cosplaying on a hill? And so they decided to wear a mask. And they just died? Maybe lightning? Was there burn marks on them?
No.
You couldn't tell really either because it was so decomposed.
Well, there had been bird marks in the grass.
Yeah. Nothing. I'm
telling you, these spiritualists always include some sort of intoxicating substances. It's got to be the drugs, man. Probably on psychedelics or something.
I mean, maybe. I really don't have any clue
The
why.
police think that the most likely is that They came there for business. Someone they were doing business with found out they had that much money on them.
Took him out.
And killed them and took most of the money. But they didn't take all the money, which is the weirdest part because they had some cash still on them. But
so
that's the police.
I mean, they couldn't find any stab wounds.
No,
or
they
any...
drugged them. Like they like, hey, come with me. We're gonna take you for a deal.
Yeah.
Drugged them. Got into that hill and just let them die there and took the money. That's the police.
Sure, I guess.
And they I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna, for time's sake. They had someone they were suspect, but then nothing ever happened. There was no trial or anything. So it's kind of like, I don't think that they really believe that.
Yeah.
Then there's a theory that it was a ritual suicide, which to me makes about as much sense as the killing. I don't think the killing makes any sense either, because if you're gonna mug somebody, just you wouldn't make. Why would you give lead masks? First of all,
yeah, it's like,
I mean, people do tamper with evidence.
Second of all,
throw people
if
off.
you're gonna steal the money, steal all of it.
Yeah.
Eh,
Okay, unless it's a red herring. Okay.
yeah.
Because there are, I've heard of stories of
Blue herrings.
serial killers or killers, whatever, that do stuff to throw people off the trail.
Yeah.
And maybe the lead mask is one of them, but that's like
maybe they heard the story in 1962 and said, "We'll just copy that."
Like if I leave enough randomness,
yeah.
they'll
I
just
don't
take
know.
care of themselves. By
How
going
much?
after it.
How much money was left? Like $10, $20,
I don't know.
100.
I was skimming.
It
and
just
I
said a
don't know.
little bit of money.
Just some of it.
Depending on how much was left, I could accept that as
Yeah.
it being a red herring. If he left like 4 or 5 pesos or whatever they use down there, they don't use pesos.
They don't.
They're Portuguese.
They're
Well,
Brazilian.
I know, but okay, the language that they speak,
Brazilian dollars,
whatever they use, okay.
monies.
So, another theory is that it was a ritual suicide. I don't think that that's true, because if it was, why would he buy the water and keep the receipt to turn back the bottle in if he was like not going to come back?
I mean, he could have been like just not thinking about it. Just like, I just want to do this. Let me get over
I
here.
guess, but it's still.
I don't know. Weird cases.
Then the one that I think is the most likely is that it was an accident, that they had some weird, they just accidentally OD'd on whatever
That's why I think
they were going to do.
some sort of, mushrooms or something to get in touch with the whatever was beyond the veil.
However, some people do think, oh, it was aliens, and that they were actually didn't die. The aliens came in and took them and brought them out of their bodies. And some others, like people.
Yeah, I don't know about this whole UFO thing. All this ring of fire and explosion stuff. Like, that's just weird. I mean, maybe that comes with the lightning theory that I had, but I mean, if there's no burn marks anywhere,
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, it's why the lead mask. I don't know.
I know, unless they were. Hear me out.
Ugly.
Wow.
That's
not
not
enough.
where I was going.
Not enough to
But that
unalive.
makes sense.
Get an insult to injury there.
No, it's just stopping them from seeing, but
So unless they were homosexual
No.
and they wanted to hide their faces.
But it's just their eyes.
And they're just stupid.
like, that's the thing. It's just their eyes.
And they act like after this is
Like,
done,
I'm just saying they're hide their faces, that way they wouldn't get caught.
Out in a field with George there watching.
Yeah, weirdos.
You know? You know what? They're just ugly.
They're just ugly.
They're just
Yeah, that's the
ugly.
easy answer. Let's just go
Which
with that.
also makes no sense, because this is just covering their own eyes.
I don't know, dude.
If I can't see you, you can't see me.
I don't know, dude, man. I don't know.
It's just weird.
I don't know, man.
Because like you said, it already sounds a little weird.
Throwing out topics.
It already sounds a little weird. And then it's like, oh, also they were into this really weird cult stuff and summoning things. It's like, oh.
I mean, people do weird things with cult.